the reality of you guys being together, this is starting to happen. Robert's starting to see it. He's making changes. You're now starting to do business together. Did that happen like right then? And did you start bringing this into your business message? Because obviously it is your message, a big part of your message today.
At the beginning, I kept asking to help him, but he wasn't too thrilled about that.
I didn't think it'd be good for our marriage.
And then one day I asked again and he said, sure. I was surprised at that point.
Yeah, I was afraid, just like a lot of, I think, business owners who doesn't work with their spouse yet, but they just don't think it's going to be good for their marriage. Or sometimes they're already having troubles anyway. But what we realize in hindsight is the why we've been able to work well together is, one, we went to counseling for 2 years before we even got married. And so that's in our book. And so
that's a whole story.
So basically I got a master's in counseling, I feel, because it was 2 years. But what the counselor helped us do is really help us develop tools on how to resolve issues. In a marriage, the reason why marriages are so strained is because we can't resolve conflict. We can't resolve the disagreements. One little disagreement becomes into an argument that becomes into a major conflict. For some, they just bury it on the rug. For some, it's just rehashing the same thing over and over again, and they never resolve anything. So for us, we just had tools. And so whenever we got into sticky situations, conversations, we relied on those tools to be able to help us move forward. And we realized, hey, we can work well together. And all of a sudden, to your question about did we start integrating with our clients? Not right away, but what happened was, as we got to know our clients better and better, they start to divulge personal issues, including their marriage. And then it's one client after another saying the same thing, and we would just organically share what works for us. And the next thing I look at Kaylee, I was like, this seems to be a thing. This seems to be a pattern. Yeah, it's not a one-off. Yeah. And it wasn't just us and our upbringing, but it seems to be a very common issue. And so we're already doing it. We're helping them in their business. We're helping them grow, but we're also helping them in their marriage. And a lot of our clients were husband-wife teams anyway. And so we're helping them work better together, both in and outside the business. And so why don't we just formalize this thing and make this part of our consulting agreement? Is we're going to help you on both sides, because if we're only
you lead
business,
with it, right? You lead. I mean, this is not hidden away. We spring it on you 3 months into the engagement. It's part of what we do.
No, I mean, our domain name is marriedentrepreneur.co, right? So this is what we do. And if you come to the homepage, hey, want to win in marriage and business?
Go ahead, Kaylee, please.
I was going to say my experience, I think Robert's too, is that our idea of resolving conflict at home was my family would hang up the phone on you. They'd walk out on you. They get in the car. They storm out. I don't want to talk about it. So people were just going off all the time, getting triggered, and never got things resolved. And so that's not, if you're getting into a marriage or a business or any relationship, there's going to be miscommunications. There's going to be, need to get things clarified. It happens all the time. So it's just so much easier to be able to resolve things, because I found for myself a lot of times just by asking a clarifying question or what somebody is needing, that it will de-escalate it. And it's a lot of times not what you thought it was.
But you operate on the assumption, and it continues to grow, right? You ask the right questions and you listen. It can be moved into more of the light and reality and truth and love. A couple of quick questions for you, just that pop into my mind as you're sharing. So, are all of your clients husband, wife entrepreneurs? It's not clearly your niche, majority. But are you exclusive?
Not exclusive, but majority of them are. I think a lot of them, and they tend to be 40 and under, which is
good.
Great.
I'm glad for that. Yeah.
Yes, because last year I told Kaylee, I was like, it'd be nice to get the 40 and unders. They have young kids, they have a growing business, and obviously we want to give them the tools so they don't have the regrets later on, like a lot of the older entrepreneurs or people in ministry and all that. They'll say that they get their 60s and 70s. If they don't admit it out front, at least in their head, they're saying, man, I wish I could have done that better. And so it'd be nice to prevent those regrets. And so when we audited our client lists, we said, oh my gosh, that's who we're attracting already, these 40 and unders. And we're not exclusive to that, but like I said, we have a heart for them because we don't want them to have those regrets later. But they just tend to be husband and wife teams. They're not always working full time together, but at least part time. Because a lot of times the wife wants to take care of the kids, they have young kids, as I shared. And they want to have that flexibility to work a little bit, help the business, but also be home for the kids and all that stuff. And so try to get the best of both worlds. And so they feel it the most, probably because they're working together. They're having conflict at work. They're having a conflict at home. And they're trying to do this thing, and they want the freedom to be able to pour with the kids, but yet the business is trapping them and all that stuff. So they're probably feeling it the most. So that's probably why they tend to gravitate towards us, because they feel it the most.